Lance. I'm Signe Kiesel. I'm here at the Professional Car Society show in Lake View Terrace, California. We've got fire engines, ambulances, police cars, as you can hear. And we're going to go check it out and see what we can find out. I'm with Joe Ortiz, who's with the Los Angeles City Fire Department Museum. Joe, I understand this is one of your police chief vehicles. Is that correct?
Yes, this is actually a 1962 Plymouth Savoy that the city purchased in the 60s for police cars. But they gave a couple to the fire department, and as a result of that, these became fire chief vehicles.
Did you restore this all on your own?
Yes, I did. Actually, it was in pretty bad shape, but it took me a long time to find this particular model. And when I found it, we drug it home and took it apart and restored it. Had some volunteers come out. We put the lights on and the chrome and...
I really like the lights on it. I think they're cool.
Thank you. That's just another generation of lights.
Joe, tell me about the museum you work for. Where is it located?
It's located in Hollywood at 1355 North Cahuenga, which is one block south of Sunset. We're open on Saturdays, and we're open to the public, and it's free.
It's free?
Exactly, yes.
How many vehicles do you have there?
We have about probably 8 or 9 antique vehicles, firefighting vehicles, and rescue squads in the Bay Area. We also have upstairs, which is loaded with rich information of the history of the Los Angeles Fire Department. Old helmets and badges and just a lot of good stuff.
I bet you get a lot of kids that just love going there.
And we get big kids too. Adults. They turn into kids when they want to slide down the pole and they want to jump on the fire engine. And these are the adults. So
Are they allowed to slide down the pole?
No.
Because I would like that. That would be fun.
Well, if you come down, we might make some special, have a couple of young firefighters that are ready to catch you.
Now, you also have another vehicle over here I want to talk about. So, Joe, tell us a little bit about this vehicle here.
This is a 1946 Chevrolet Rescue Ambulance. And it was real simple. One gurney, a first aid kit, and an oxygen tank. We had no paramedics. We had no EMTs. It was advanced first aid. Basically, put them on the gurney and get them to the hospital as quickly as you can.
So it's all about just transportation in this vehicle.
Exactly, yeah. This was my first one that to my collection. I started with this one apparatus. The firefighters had an old fire engine that used to go to parades, all the parades in the city, and we were the medics, and how come we can't go? Because you guys don't have an ambulance. So I found this about a year later, took it home and completely restored it.
Wait, where'd you find it?
I found it out in the San Fernando Valley.
Okay.
Yeah. A funny little story. The guy was breaking up with his girlfriend. He took a couple of pills, Anacins, and he wanted some sympathy, so we got there, and we saved his life. We took him to the hospital, told him not to do it again, but I saw this in his backyard, so I called him about a week later, and he was still depressed. Go ahead, take it. I'll sell it to you real cheap. We're not going to be together anymore, and I got the truck.
I got one more question for you. Can you turn on the lights for me?
No.
I tried. Well, thank you very much, Joe. I really appreciate it. I am with Steve Prater, who works for Hall Ambulance. Steve, I understand that this is the first ambulance that Hall came out with?
Yes, this was the very first ambulance that the company placed in service all the way back in February of 1971.
And you're in charge of keeping it up and making sure it's still looking good?
I'm one of the very few that's lucky enough to drive this and that's allowed to drive it. And there's a small dedicated group of us that love to take care of her, keep her maintained, and tip-top shape.
And you're also a paramedic, right?
Yes.
Any good life-saving stories you want to share with me?
I've been doing this for almost 15 years, and I've got my share of stories, but a favorite one of mine was a gentleman that was in cardiac arrest, and I got to be a part of the crew that was able to bring him back. By the time we got to the hospital, he was sitting upright on a gurney, he was talking, and when we left the hospital, he was talking with his family.
That's amazing. Now, you probably couldn't have done that in this ambulance, is that correct?
That's most definitely correct. Back in the day when this was in service, you were lucky if the crew showed up with an advanced first aid card, which was pretty much the standard back then. Things quickly evolved after this vehicle was placed into service. EMT training became required, and where we're from in Bakersfield, 1975 is when we put the first paramedics on the street. So things moved pretty quickly after the vehicle was placed into service.
Now, the founder of this hall ambulance, he kept the same color, right, throughout all the years?
Yes, all the ambulances have been painted orange and white.
I have one more question.
Sure.
Can you turn the lights on for me?
Not today.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you anyway. It was really nice talking to you. I appreciate
Nice
it.
talking to you too.
I'm with Lou Farah, who is the president of the Professional Car Society. How you doing, Lou?
I'm doing great. How are you today?
Great. Tell me a little more about this society.
The Professional Car Society was formed approximately 30 years ago by funeral directors, paramedics, ambulance attendants for the appreciation, preservation, and restoration of professional cars. Traditionally, old ambulances, hearses, flowers cars, things of that nature. The Professional Car Society Southern California chapter was formed about 10 years ago by myself and 4 other firefighters as an arm of the club out here on the West Coast. And as you can see, we have a vast array of different types of vehicles where we appear for public service events, charitable events, a variety of car events and collector car things.
I heard you did a really great charity a couple weeks ago. Tell me about that.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago we did the Alicia Ann Roosh Byrne Foundation Relay. The foundation is based in the memory of a young girl, 5 years old, Lisa Ann Roosh, who had died in a barbecue accident in her backyard about 25 years ago. Since that time, the foundation every year raises money through various fire departments for burn education, to take care of burn victims, take them to activities, programs, rehabilitation programs. And we have all the fire departments raise money throughout the year. And then we have a huge relay where all the fire departments get together in their fire trucks and ambulances, travel to all the fire department headquarters in Southern California, picking up the checks for the donations. In Code 3 style, we go all through the Southern California area, and we end up at a large party at the Los Angeles County Fire Department headquarters.
Now, do you get to put your sirens on and go through the lights and all that stuff?
The whole day is Code 3 driving lights and siren. We have an escort from the CHP. They block the intersections, they close off the freeways, and from 8 o'clock in the morning till 5 in the afternoon, it's nonstop driving with perhaps 70 or 80 fire trucks and ambulances throughout all of Los Angeles County.
let's talk about this vehicle here.
Well, what we have here is one of the typical vehicles of the era that we collect. This is a 1969 Chevrolet Suburban ambulance that was converted into an ambulance by the Stoner Corporation in Santa Fe Springs. This particular model was used by the San Marino Fire Department as their first paramedic rig. This was the first year of their paramedic program, and this really represents more than the passenger car ambulance, the transition from what we call you call, we haul, and that's all. And that's basically what happened with the traditional Cadillac style. Once we started using the truck and the van type, these were designed to carry more equipment, the paramedic drug box, the heart monitor, the defibrillator, the very sophisticated equipment that was used starting in 1969. So this shows really the transition from basic medical transportation to modern EMS.
Right. So this one is the first time that you can actually do something
Absolutely.
along the way.
This represents 1969 when we started to go from basic ambulance transportation to actual emergency medical services in the field.
Well, I got to ask you one really important question. Can you turn on the lights for me?
No.
Well, thanks a lot, Lou. It was really nice talking to you and learning about your society.
Thanks for coming by.
Hi, I'm here with Tim Cruise, not to be confused with Tom Cruise. Tim, I understand you own this police car right here?
Yes, I do.
And what's the history? It's obviously, what year is it?
It's a 1961 Dodge Seneca.
Did you restore it, or how did you find it?
Yeah, restored it. I happened to find some gentlemen up in Northern California, and they had this up for sale, and it was originally a police car from another agency. Los Angeles Police Department, of course, had this in 61 Dodge Senecas as part of their fleet. Well, I saw this car, and it was one of the pictures that I loved so much, and I decided that I couldn't let this pass by, and I wanted to keep that history for the police department. So I decided to purchase that myself and restore it back to its original LAPD spec.
Okay, now tell me the truth. Do you collect these cars just so you can go around on the freeway and turn the siren and lights on and get through the stoplights and everything?
Unfortunately, no, that's not the case. That begins to law. But it would be a nice thought to be able to do that, freely run around the freeways and just have fun like that. No, but these are strictly for show and tell and to teach children and young PD of the past, and also for the memories of officers that were in the field to be able to come back and then see these cars again and have good memories of the past when they used to be officers back in the 50s and 60s and bring the memories back.
So I just have one more question. Is it possible that you can turn the lights on for me?
I'm sorry, I can't do that.
It's okay. Well, thank you very much, Tim Cruise. Hi, I'm with Mario Silva, and I'm standing on his fire truck. Hi, Mario. How you doing?
Pretty good yourself.
Great. What makes a person want to own a fire truck?
Well, as little boys, we all play with fire trucks, and as we get older, we get the fire truck.
Well, no, not usually, but what makes you actually want to get the fire truck?
I always like the equipment. It's nice. It's a hobby. It's like having a '57 Chevy, but it's much bigger.
And what year is this truck? Is this certain?
This is a 1975 Crown Telescourt because of the ladder, and it's a former Santa Ana from one of the cities out in Orange County.
Okay, well, I really like it. I think it's really exciting. Is there any kind of possibility that you could maybe turn the lights on?
Sure.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, that's it from Lake View Terrace, California. Thanks a lot, Lance. We'll see you next time.